it
see.
was like this big scramble because I thought, hey, what can we talk about on our final podcast? Well, Sai is in Australia, and we don't know for sure whether he'll actually be able to get up at 5 in the morning to come and join a podcast. And
He hasn't been to
while
bed. He's just pushed on through.
yes, yeah, muscled on through
Well, a
the
couple of hours.
He's on his 19th 4X of the last 24 hours. He's
You're
fine.
joking. Nobody drinks that out here.
Hello and welcome to Screen Time with AV Forums. In this video, we're looking at our choices for the best movies and TV shows of 2024 as featured in our Editor's Choice Awards article. First, a message from our sponsor, Hisense.
Over the festive period, it's the perfect time to cozy up and level up your TV experience. Hisense mini LED TVs bring incredible brightness, deeper blacks, and stunning contrast, making it perfect for binging your favourite movies and TV shows in lifelike detail. Plus, the 55-inch and 65-inch U7N models just earned a Which Best Buy award. And with end-of-year sale pricing, it's never been smarter to upgrade. Learn more about the mini LED range at hisense.co.uk.
The best theatrical movie blockbuster, guys. I think I single-handedly pushed this one, but because Mark's going to be crossing his head, going no, no, no.
Yeah.
Dune
don't have
Part
the list.
2. Look, I put it down as the best blockbuster of the year. It was what I describe as an
All the
anti-commercial
choices.
mainstream epic. No, I didn't give you a choice.
Oh,
It's
no.
Dune. You have to pick
Then
Dune
yes,
Part
then,
2.
then there's no argument.
I mean, there are a whole bunch of titles that were out that were blockbusters this year, but there were few of those that could compete with Dune because it was one of those odd films that was a blockbuster, was mainstream, but was also kind of like an expensive indie flick because not many mainstream studios would not be dishing out something a bit more commercial than Dune Part 2. I mean, how these movies got made, I have no idea. Because
Yeah, you do.
not
Yeah,
really.
you
Not
do.
really.
Denis Villeneuve and Timothy So Hot right now, Chalamet and Zendaya. Yeah, no idea how this film got made.
The first,
Come
the first one,
on.
first one didn't make enough to justify going all out with the second
Did
one.
though, wasn't it? That was COVID. And let's be honest, it did enough on HBO Max and on disc release. Plus, Warner's probably knew there'd be a hell of a lot of lynchings if they didn't finish it.
Well, I
See what
agree
I
with
did there?
that.
Lynchings. See what I did there? That's right. You know what I'm talking about.
I loved it, but I will say that it was very close for me on the runner-up, which I gave to Wild Robot. Have you seen it yet, Mark?
Nope.
You've
Ah,
got
It
it.
is currently sat nestling in my iTunes collection, but I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, it's great.
I mean,
No, I don't know how you'd call it a blockbuster, mine.
well,
Have
I
much
know
of
what
theatrical release?
it got a pretty big theatrical release. I know what you mean about it being a blockbuster, but I guess I don't know. Maybe I didn't care. It was just phenomenal. One of the best movies that I never expected to see this year.
Yeah, I agree there.
I look forward to checking it out eventually, maybe in 2029.
Oh,
Well, give me all these buddy films to watch, and I'll get
sure.
around to watching some. Anyway, next.
Let's do one you did then, Mark. How about best theatrical movie indie Civil War?
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah, okay. No, well, I mean, again, it's really funny, isn't it? We're proper blurring the lines here. Civil War is an indie movie. I mean, blimey, it's not exactly Clark's, is it? But
You know what that means, though.
I know, I know.
I
What you mean.
know.
I'm just being spiky. I really like Civil War. It's it made you think, and I know that should happen more often, but it doesn't. And this, I found it interesting that it was released this year, and I, for one, and I think I wrote this in the review of the 4K, I just couldn't watch it without almost every beat, every narrative arc, every character thing. Couldn't help but think about the world we live in now, our modern world. And it was that relevant. It was that timely. And I think that's what made it so bloody terrifying, if I'm honest. Because it's the kind of thing. Do you know what? It's up there with The Purge for me as one of those ridiculous high concept notions that, oh my God, you can genuinely see happening at some point in the very near future.
Yeah, I'd hope the
Oh,
purge isn't really on the cards for us as a human race, but I see it with Civil War. But I did like the way that in Civil War they did it without actually picking a side.
yeah, and he got criticised as much for his lack of politics as he would have done if he'd dove into any specific politics of it.
Mm.
Well, for me, the whole film was about the dangers of uh, taking your politics too seriously,
Yes.
which I thought was highly. And of course, it had a great third act. It went all Black Hawk down, and it blotted its copybook a little bit for me in its last few minutes. It couldn't help but have too much of a Hollywood ending. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought it was a strange turn for Alex Garland. I'd watched his Men literally the week before this,
Yeah,
and
that's a different film.
it's a very different film. Yeah, I didn't think he had this in him, if I'm honest. But it'd be really interesting to see, well, where he goes after the 28 days, years, weeks, months, decades, centuries trilogy is finished, to see where he actually goes next properly. But yeah,
Have
really
you seen it yet, Si?
Of course, I have the blue 4K.
Oh,
Watched it
okay.
once.
Well,
Yeah,
there
it's
you
a good
go.
film. Very, very enjoyable. Yeah,
Yeah.
different to what you think. I mean, I read Tom reviewed it first, didn't he?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
he reviewed it at the
that was
cinema.
intriguing enough for me to want to get the 4K. I wasn't intrigued enough to go to the cinema to see it. But no, it's great. Bit different to what you would usually expect.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. Runner up, I put Blink twice, but I don't actually know whether either of you have seen this.
Nope.
Oh, you guys.
We're not very good. We're really not.
How are we even going to get into this? This is Zoe Kravitz. I expected nothing of this. To be honest, I had very modest expectations with, Channing Tatum as the centerpiece for this. I was like, yeah, it's a cracking movie. Very unexpected, dark. Yeah, it's utterly gripping. I thought it was a fabulous little surprise. I think you'd both love it for its horror predilections, and it's just the right side of horror for me, like high concept horror rather than
So, like, not horror at all then.
well, like
welcome to-
just more. I mean, more psychological horror than slash your throat open horror.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's pretty damn horrific.
Okay.
So,
Well, I look forward to catching it. I personally would have voted for Till Singer's Cuckoo, but hey, like Kaz said, there was no democracy involved here.
there was no democracy involved
No
here.
democracy.
It was like this big scramble because I thought, hey, what can we talk about on our final podcast? Well, Sai is in Australia, and we don't know for sure whether he'll actually be able to get up at 5 a.m. to come and join a podcast.
He hasn't been to bed. He's just pushed on through.
Yes, yeah, muscled on through.
He's on his 19th 4X of the last 24 hours. He's fine.
Nobody drinks that out here.
Nobody drinks it here either anymore.
Yeah.
Got my age. Anyway, next, Kaz.
so
Come
yeah,
on, keep
yes.
this baby rolling.
I think I just scrambled together the best I could from it. But you're right. Cuckoo was good. If we'd had some kind of voting thing, like what we're doing for what we're anticipating in 25, I think it would have been quite good. But there just wasn't much time for it, so I tried to pick the ones that were highest rated.
We forgive you.
The next one, well, I'm just picking ones that you guys haven't seen because I'm guessing you haven't seen Best Streaming Movie Original, All of Us Strangers. Oh man, you guys. Okay, well that's cracking. Get to watching it. It's on Disney. Loved it. 9 out of 10. I'll just give scores for the rest, shall I?
Yeah, done. That'll be it.
Runner up, Land of Bad on Amazon. You've all seen that. You've both seen
that
one. No, have I?
Oh god, Sai has.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
People are going to complain about me putting Land of Bad in here, but as streaming movies go, I really, again, it came down to, a big surprise for me. It was very enjoyable and, on a very tight budget.
You had me at bat 2-1. That's
Yeah.
it.
We
Go
should
on.
have had you at Russell Crowe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best documentary, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, which is coming to Sky just after Christmas.
28th of December, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Someone
something
said.
like that. Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, we all saw the trailer, and then we watched the 375 reaction videos of people crying their eyes out watching the trailer. And even that doesn't prepare you for the gut punch of the story. We knew for those of us of a certain age, we remember the accident. We remember what happened. We remember it. Oh, I mean, I was beside myself. He was my Superman. And at that point, it wasn't the days of media saturation that we have now, the blurring of the lines between real lives and characters that social media brings and all this kind of stuff. Christopher Reeve was Superman. And the accident and they showed the accident in the first 5 minutes of the documentary. It looks innocuous, but the film then fractures and sort of takes you. One strand follows Reeve and his family recovering from the accident, and the other traces him all the way back to a struggling actor at Juilliard, rooming with the likes of Robin Williams and Jeff Daniels and William Hurt to get in the role of Kal-El. And yeah, it is hundreds of hours of home movies. It is raw, honest, sit down interviews with his children, with the likes of Whoopi Goldberg and Daniels and Glenn Close, talking about Reeve as a family man, as a friend, as, interestingly enough, a very flawed individual. And his kids are absolutely fascinating in how open they were about the fact he may have been Superman to everyone else, but to them, he was anything but. So it doesn't just whitewash Reeve and his legacy. But, just so emotional. I mean, you see some of it. You didn't realize that when he took the stage at the Oscars in '96, which was less than 12 months after his accident, you kind of remember seeing it, but they show it here and they show his journey to get there, the stuff that you didn't see, that you didn't appreciate. And I was just a mess from that point to the end. For about a solid hour, there wasn't an ounce of liquid left in my body. It had all come through my tear ducts by the time the end credits roll. But it's a superb documentary, just utterly superb. I don't recommend it enough.
It sounds devastatingly tragic, Mark. I mean, his wife has since died of cancer, I think, hasn't she?
And I hadn't realized this. She died it wasn't long after he died. I thought she died recently. It wasn't. It was literally 18 months or so after he died. And you think that left the 3 kids orphans after what they'd gone through in the 10 years since the accident.
Oh, man.
Blimey. But I mean, it isn't just misery porn. Seeing what he did and his advocacy and all this kind of stuff, it's just a superb emotional documentary. Get it watched. Just everyone get it watched, whether or not you like Superman or not.
I know what you're saying. You just have to be in the right mood to be poked that much. And it brings me to the runner-up, which is The Remarkable Life of Ibelin on Netflix.
I'll tell you what,
you have seen that.
I have seen it, yes.
Oh,
and what do you think, Si?
Go on.
I thought it was another very tragic story, but quite, as the title actually, remarkable about the poor child who was born with a muscular disease that gave him a very limited life. Towards the end of his life, he was unable to move at all, just his hands. But the other half of his life was on the game World of Warcraft, which he made a huge impact on a load of people's lives. And I thought it was a very interesting story. More in the line of that, I met my wife through an internet game. So I can appreciate how you can forge such strong emotional bonds and friendships through online gaming. And it's kind of being realized that that is now a possibility, whereas back when this was when what's his name? Ivan is the character's name. Mats.
Yeah.
When Mats was alive, it was seen as sort of antisocial. You were locking yourself in a room by yourself, and that's so far from the truth. You're actually forging relationships with people, and they are real people who've got real lives, and they share their emotional baggage with each other and work through some very difficult times. There's some incredible stories in there, not just the central character who's about, but all the people he interacted with. Absolutely fascinating, and it just I felt it was it resonated with me because I could realize how strong the bond you can make, because I've lived that life. You know, I have met my current wife. We met online through a game. So yeah, it was fascinating. A tragic story. And when the people are talking about, I'm sorry about my camera bouncing up and down here, I'm getting very animated. But no, that was great. I haven't seen Superman, but if it's half as good as Ivan, then yeah, absolutely deserves the top spot.
Nice.
I mean, do you know what? We're in a bumpy era of documentaries. You know, when you think about what we got, even last year we got, was it The Deepest Breath?
And
Deepest Breath,
Arnold,
that
didn't we?
I can't remember the free diving documentary
We
on
did.
Netflix.
And
We got
Arnold
Still and
Still.
Arnold, and so, you know, we are living in a golden age of documentary filmmaking, and there are people out there who won't watch a documentary, and I have to keep telling them, honestly, do you know what? It is some of the best storytelling you will ever see.
Yeah, there's
So,
that Lego documentary about Pharrell.
Yeah, I'm not classing that in the same way as I'm not.
No.
No, and I'm not going to put the Robbie Williams monkey documentary in there either.
No.
Although I will at least watch that one. I'll
Yeah.
give that one a go.
All right. Best TV show. This is in the surprise category. You know, not that I err in the favor of things that surprised me, but Scavenger's Reign on Netflix. I just thought it was absolutely phenomenal. It's the kind of show that Mark won't even watch 10 minutes of the first episode of, so you know it's just fabulous TV.
Yeah, but you know, if I would, I'd absolutely love it, and I'd be telling everyone to watch it.
You would, which is what I did. Yeah.
I'm just not going to.
It was a surprise. It's a very old school style in terms of animation, and it's some of the most imaginatively realized hard sci-fi I've ever seen. Just the worlds it brings to life, the concepts it brings to life. It's just beautiful, very adult, but beautiful. Si, did you manage to get the chance to go through this?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Based on your review, actually, yeah, it's fabulous.
Don't say that, Si. Now that makes me feel bad.
Hmm?
See, you listen to Kaz, and I actively ignore him. Oh, to be fair, well, that's that.
I have one follower.
That's good teamwork. That is. That's the yin and the yang. There we go.
Yeah, he does actively. Okay. Well, anyway, Landman. Okay, here's a show that I guess neither of you have started yet.
No, but this one I will.
Only because of Ali Larter. That doesn't count.
Yeah, it does. But do you know what? If Ali Larter was in Scavenger's Reign, I'd have watched it 5 times by now.
Okay, so the backstory to this is that I spent like 10 minutes telling Mark about how good Billy Bob Thornton was in this, how fantastic his performance was, how he was in Goliath, how he was in Fargo, and how this is just really Billy Bob Thornton being himself, except as a crisis manager for an oil company, which sounds ridiculously pedestrian or perhaps glamorizing oil, and it's anything but. It's so refreshingly honest, and I thought it was fantastic. And he was yawning as he is doing to the mic right now. He's just doing it over Skype, and then I say, also, it's got Ali Larter in it. And he was like, right, I'm getting it watched. That's it.
Done.
That's it. That was it.
Sold. That's it.
It's sold straight away. It doesn't matter the
It-
performances, the script, the acting. It's Ali Larter. She's in a bikini most every time you see her, even when it's
Oh,
deeply inappropriate for
definitely
her to
watching
be
that.
so.
There we go. See, Side's suddenly going to watch it now.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
see, that's all it is, Kaz. From
It
now
is.
on, 2-word reviews. Ali and Larter. That's all that's needed.
You don't want bikini in there?
Well, I mean, all right. If you get paid by the word, fair enough. But it's completely extraneous. You only need those two. You only need those two.
Nice. Best streaming TV show original. I put down The Penguin. How do we feel about that?
Not got a Scooby Doo.
Oh God, Mark. Oh my Lord.
I didn't like Batman, so
But
I
you-
wasn't going to watch this.
But you didn't like Colin Farrell as the Penguin in it. I seem to remember you thinking it was one of the best things about a film that you didn't like.
So what do you think I'm going to go? Right,
No, I'm not
just
saying that.
rewind to the previous discussion about the best hard sci-fi ever that I still ain't going to watch.
I
But you
have a
still expect
feeling-
me to watch an entire TV show about the best thing in a film I didn't like.
Almost
on,
certainly,
Cass.
yes. Almost certainly you're going to watch bad TV that you don't like over good TV that I recommend.
Yeah, but if I do, that is true. But in which case, I'll just blame the missus. So,
Okay. Well, I thought it was phenomenal. Did you get to see it yet, Si?
No, not yet. It's on the list.
I mean-
Had I been in the UK, then I probably would have watched it by now. But I don't get time to watch stuff when I'm out here.
It just blew away all expectations for me. Proper decent crime drama. Farrell absolutely absorbed in the role. I mean, it was flat out excellent. It was everything I could have possibly wanted and more from a DC like comic book superhero TV show. I mean, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. It's not. It's proper Sopranos territory rather than quite honestly DC territory.
so
This-
it's not the Peacemaker then.
I really enjoyed Peacemaker as well.
I
I was going to
love
say,
I watched Peacemaker and I
I
enjoyed that.
love Peacemaker.
yeah, but that's not really DC territory. These are a different style for them because this
Yeah.
isn't The Sopranos. This is still The Penguin. This is still
Yeah.
that universe, but they've just done it like a proper guy working his way up in a messy crime family, and he's phenomenal. I mean, you forget it's him when you watch the making of and the behind the scenes. You're like, that can't be the guy I just saw bumbling around with a gammy leg and scars all over his face, and like how he's properly in that role. Anyway, I highly recommend it. You should get around to giving it a shot.
All
You
right.
might even like it, Mark. But
All
I
right
did
then.
give the runner-up to Fallout because I thought that was also phenomenal.
That was great.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
that was unexpected for a video game adaptation as well.
Yeah.
And it kind of just came out of nowhere because we saw the trailers fairly late, and everyone just went, "Oh God, that just looks terrible."
Yeah,
But you know what?
it
It captured. I don't know what it was because obviously it spun its own story, hugely influenced by Fallout 3. I mean, the hours I plowed into Fallout 3 on the Xbox, good grief. And it's probably the closest any film or TV show has got to getting that feel of, when you are in that world. So it's back
Yeah.
to what you were saying before. When you are in it and it's like, oh my God, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I've got work in 3 hours, but I can't put this game down. I've got to. It was the closest thing I've seen that made me feel like that. And I absolutely loved Fallout. Thought it was superb. Ella Purnell in it was star making. And I think it's just about how she's gone on to other stuff this year. She was brilliant and she summed it up perfectly. 1 minute she is lopping heads off in fountains of blood, and the next minute she's gushing apologies for having inconvenienced the now headless corpse. It had that real, just odd vibe about it, but in the middle of hardcore dystopia future world with robotic messiah religious zealots over here and noseless undead ghouls. None of it should work, but it did, and it was so much fun. And I love Fallout, so everyone should get watched.
It was really good. It was really good. I did enjoy that whole world, and I thought what you said about the trailer was absolutely right, because I watched the trailer and I was like, I just do not. And I watch anything on Netflix, so I have no idea why I was like this about this, but
And I remember you said, right, Mark, you're watching Fallout, and I'm like, oh, do I
yeah,
have to?
yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yeah, it turned out to be cracking. I can't believe you had a real
superb.
spate of watching things that I'd passed to you because I was like, I just can't do this. I can't face it. And it turned out to be like 9 out of 10. And I didn't watch loads of them for ages out of spite. Spite, obviously cutting off my own nose there, which is not ironic for yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, it was a phenomenal piece of TV. Best AV TV show I gave to Arcane. I mean, Fallout was definitely a contender in there, but the second season of Arcane, have either of you watched the first seasons?
Arcane, that's absolutely awesome. I loved it.
Did you finish the second season?
Yeah, not quite as good, but
I mean,
very watchable.
I loved the whole world, but I thought that the second season, certainly on the AV front, it was just breathtaking. Some of the innovation they put into the animated design was tremendous. They did a monochrome funeral where one character was in color, which was just really nicely done. And they did some fabulous set pieces across it, which were just they just used imagination in the animation. And I thought it was, I love the show anyway, but I just thought that was fantastic.
Do you know what I'm going to do, Kaz? I'm going to make a promise now to you inside that I'm going to watch some of these.
Really?
You should.
Yep, really.
He didn't put a date on its side. Do you remember?
Nope.
A lot.
Do you remember 2029 earlier?
Nope, I mean, this is the whole point of these things, isn't it? The whole point of these articles, these podcasts, to look back at the year is to highlight stuff which you either missed accidentally or maybe ever so slightly on purpose. But actually, you then realised, you know what? Being so silly, Mark. Kaz doesn't always talk out of his backside some of the time. So therefore, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch some of these.
Every
I'm
time
going to watch
I
Arcane.
recommend.
I'm going to watch Scavenger's Reign.
Are you going to finish Shogun?
Oh.
Am I going to finish Shogun?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right, the runner-up for best AV TV show was Shogun on Disney Plus.
Yeah, do you know what? I've got one episode left, and I don't know. Just life got in the way. But it was glorious old. It sounds really weird because obviously it's one of the most modern, most up-to-date TV shows you can get. But it is glorious old school in what it deems spectacle worthy. And Disney Plus got it onto the screen looking and sounding absolutely amazing. You know, the lashings of CGI was high quality, or oh man, you know, the mist, the rain, the sort of real atmospherics of the environment. Then you cut to the most detailed costuming, the lavish colors. And then, of course, you get some superb cannon fire, some battle sounds that where the Atmos is coming all alive. Yeah, it was a fantastic AV experience. And I'm hoping it'll be as satisfying a narrative one when I get round to finishing it in 2029.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's everything you said there was good. Yeah, it's a good story. It is a good. How far did you get through it?
I've got one episode left.
Oh.
I know.
I know.
I know.
One
I'll need to go and find a first 9 episodes of Shogun in 15 minutes on YouTube before I dare to tackle that final episode.
Somewhere.
Got to.
Very nice. Right, well, that wraps up our chat about the AV Forum's Editor's Choice Movie Awards for Best Movie and TV Shows in 2024. My thanks to Simon and Mark for joining us.
Sayonara.
Don't forget to do the usual social media, like, subscribe, and so on. Tell everyone about the AV Forums podcast and spread the word far and wide. Plus, if you really like this podcast, buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/AV Forums. I'm Kaz Harlow. Thank you for listening. We'll be back soon.